I've used SpaceX Starlink daily for over 3 years. What are my thoughts? Is it time to move on? Let's talk about it. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much once again joining me for tea time. Today, we're coming to the end of some fireside. So good. I hope you're joining me with your cup of tea, maybe a cup of coffee, hanging out, talking tech, talking photo, talking video. Today is a technology day. We're going to be talking about SpaceX and my experience with it over the last 36 plus months. And hopefully, if you are new to SpaceX, if you're interested in SpaceX, my experience will help you decide if SpaceX is for you, SpaceX Starlink. Is this a service that you can use? The beauty of SpaceX Starlink is it allows you to use it in a fixed location, or you can use it on the road, mobily. You can even use it on a plane or on a train or on a boat, a yacht somewhere, just about anywhere on the planet as of today. There's over 6,000 satellites currently in LEO or low Earth orbit, and they're all working together as a mesh network to provide you and me internet anywhere. So it's a really good service, and I want to tell you once again what my experience is with it, and will I be leaving SpaceX Starlink? And a lot of people have been asking me about this on the lives and what is going to happen once you end up with fiber or something like that. Are you going to get rid of SpaceX Starlink? Well, I'm going to get into some of that with you today. Also, I'll give you, of course, my experience with SpaceX Starlink from the beginning till now. What do I think about it and where do I think it's going? Once again, is it something that's right for you? And hopefully this video will help you decide. So, before we get into it, I just want to say that if you enjoyed the video, throw it a thumbs up. That's very helpful. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not. If you are, thank you. I appreciate that. Click this little notification button over here so when I go live or when a new video comes out, you will be notified of it immediately. If you want to say thank you for all of my hard work, there's a little thank you button down here. You can give $1 or $2 if you like. If not, it's perfectly fine. The video is still free either way. Consider becoming a member of the channel. That would be even better. And if you want more SpaceX Starlink content like this, I've put together over 360 videos just for you. When you're done watching this video, I'll put a link here. Don't click on it yet. There'll be a link here to that playlist. You'll be able to take a look at all those helpful how-tos, tips, tricks, what to buy, what not to buy, what to do, what not to do. And of course, the why behind all of it, because this channel has always been about the why. If you enjoy the video also, what would be really helpful to me is if you share it with your friends, family, colleagues, Reddit, I don't care, wherever, Facebook. Share the video, share the channel. Let's grow this thing. I would appreciate that. And finally, if you haven't downloaded any of my ebooks, they're free just for you being here. Go to JCristina.com/books. Once again, JCristina.com/books. So there's no news today. It's just us hanging out, shooting it, so to speak, talking about SpaceX Starlink. So let me begin by why did I even buy SpaceX Starlink? Why did I even go onto the waiting list when it was first introduced, just coming out of beta? The bottom line is I'm in a rural location, 5 acres, and we've always had the absolute trash internet possible. And all the way till now, our AT&T U-verse provides us with 15 megabits down and 1.5 megabits up. I'm not joking. They're literally speeds that you would get back in like the 90s, okay? That's what AT&T provides. And that's with AT&T bonding 2 lines together. 15 megabits down, 1.5 megabits up. Horrendous, especially for an entire family, right? My work, everything that we do here, absolutely atrocious. And once again, it's still that way today. Well, as soon as I heard about SpaceX Starlink, this was in February of 2021, I said, you know what, this sounds unbelievable. This is amazing. And I did a lot of research and I said, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and put my $99 in and put that, let's call it a down payment, right? My deposit in. And I waited an entire 9 months before the hardware came. There used to be waiting lists. Now you can go and get this service at your local Home Depot or wherever, Costco or something. All right, you can get it just about anywhere. You can order it and you'll get it within a few days. I waited 9 months. During that wait time, I did some videos and I talked about it and I was very excited about it. I'm like, wow, if this thing works, this is going to be just revolutionary. Sure enough, 9 months later, November of 2021, I have a box all the way down at the end of a 200-foot driveway next to the garbage cans. And that box is what? Yep, SpaceX Starlink. Can you believe? No one stole it. I got lucky, but it was sitting there. I went and got it, and I was so excited. All right, I videoed the entire thing. Matter of fact, if you go into that playlist and go all the way back to the very beginning, you will see my original setup of SpaceX Starlink. I was so excited, guys. I couldn't wait to set this damn thing up. I set it up and immediately I did a speed test and I was getting over 300 megabits down. It was like 336, I believe. And my up speed was anywhere from about 30 to 46 megabits up. That's at the beginning, guys. That was just awe-inspiring. Can you imagine going to the 300 plus down when with AT&T I was getting 15 down? And up speed of close to 40, 45, 46 megabits up in comparison to 1.5 megabits up. Everything changed, guys. Everything changed. The family life changed. We ended up discontinuing Dish Network after 25, 30 years. We told them to go pound sand. Why? Because of IPTV. Once you have internet, a strong internet, a fast internet, broadband, guess what? You don't need them anymore. That's why I've said many times on this channel, Dish Network as well as DirecTV will be going out of business. They are not needed anymore. You do not need satellite TV. You just get it over your internet. Doesn't matter what internet you get. It could be fiber. It could be on copper because you have cable, let's say. It could be even with AT&T or maybe even one of these 5G towers or SpaceX Starlink. Once you have internet, everything else is gone. Right? You don't need it. So I ended up deleting, once again, telling them to go pound sand to Dish Network after all those years of raping us, $150+ a month. Now I was able to get YouTube TV for 60, 70 bucks or something. Literally cutting everything in half. It was amazing, guys. Absolutely amazing. Now remember, when we first got on board, once again, the end of 2021, there was only 112,000 customers. 112,000 customers. Now there's over 4 million worldwide. That just gives you an idea. And that's why the speeds were so good at the very beginning. But what ended up happening is the speed started going like this, right? They went from that 300 and some megabits down to 250, 230, 220, 180, 150, and then finally they broke into the sub 100 megabits download speed. And the reason being is because there was so much saturation. There was so many people using it. It was oversold. There was just simply too many people signing up. All right. They even put a waiting list for people getting it, but still the satellites could not handle it. And that was version 1 satellites. Then they came out with version 1.5s that have the laser technology so that they could communicate with each other in a mesh network using communication lasers. Then they came out with the 2.0 minis. That changed everything. Speed started slowly coming back up from that sub 100 megabits, maybe 110 megabits down to 120, 150, 170. Now we're seeing sometimes when a really good satellite's overhead, close to that 300 megabits down again. So things are getting better. And that's with 4 million plus customers. So who should purchase SpaceX Starlink? Are you one of those people? Well, let me give you some pros and cons here. Number one, if you have access to fiber, forget about SpaceX Starlink. Unless you're going to use it as a backup system, there's no reason for it. Fiber should be the end goal for everyone. Light speed is light speed, and that is simply it. You're going to get the best latency, the lowest latency, and the possible fastest speeds. So fiber is your goal. But if you're not going to get fiber because you're in a rural area like myself, we haven't had fiber for over 30 years, and we've asked and requested and begged and did everything to try to get it, but no one wanted to bring it out here. Even though companies like AT&T have been getting subsidies from the government to bridge the digital divide, as they call it, to give the rural people in the, let's say, out of the city, high-speed access, fiber. They've been subsidized a lot, millions and millions and millions of dollars, probably billions at this point, and they have done nothing, or let's say little to nothing. So they never did it. Now we have fiber coming into the neighborhood, and fiber is here as of today. I've told you guys it's been coming for quite some time, and as of yesterday, they installed it. All right. And I'm going to get into that before the end of this video, but let me finish. Who is this for? If you are someone that's in a rural area, okay, this is absolutely perfect. If you don't have access to cable, you don't have access to any other high-speed broadband, SpaceX Starlink is absolutely your best bet. Hands down. It is the best satellite network out there, non-terrestrial network there is. Forget about HughesNet and Viasat. They will also be out of business, just like DirecTV and Dish Network will be. Viasat, Hughes Network, if you currently have them, get rid of them, get SpaceX Starlink, and then thank me in the comments below. So if you are one of those people, this is for you. Also, if you're traveling and you're moving from state to state, or maybe you're hiking and you're going to the top of a mountain somewhere and you need to have access, well, guess what? SpaceX Starlink will give that to you. They have a roaming plan, so you don't have to be stationary and have it locked down on the top of your building. You can roam with it. It's a little bit more expensive, but you can roam, go anywhere, plug it in, and now have high-speed internet anywhere. In a jungle someplace, as long as you don't have a canopy of trees over you. In a jungle, on the desert, on the top of a mountain, it doesn't matter where it is. You could be in Alaska, you could be in the North Pole, South Pole. It doesn't make a difference. You will have high-speed internet, which is unfreaking believable. All right, this is big, really big. That means that anyone on the planet can have high-speed internet as of today, as long as the country, your country that you're located in, allows it. There are some countries that are giving SpaceX Starlink and Elon Musk just a headache to try to bring the service to them. India is one of them. I don't even want to hear about India anymore. That's been going back and forth. They want this, want that. Just stop already. The problem with a lot of these countries is they want control. They want to be able to have full control over the people. They don't want their people to have a free source of information coming in. When I say free, not monetarily free, but let's say censorship free. They want to be able to control the narrative and make sure that whatever information comes into their country, they can moderate. In my personal opinion, free speech is absolute paramount. Any country that censors, I think, is evil, number one. It reminds me back in the days, medieval times, they used to say, keep your people religious and keep them dumb, and you'll always keep them under your thumb. It's very similar to what's going on today. When you start censoring information, you can manipulate your people, all right? Keep them dumb and keep them under your thumb. And that's what a lot of countries are doing. But once again, if the country allows it, you could take that dish anywhere on the planet and use it. So who is SpaceX Starlink not for? Well, number one, if you're doing any type of communication with live video, for example, sometimes you might have a little bit of an outage. And if that happens, you're going to break up or you're going to become pixelated and look like a Minecraft character. All right. So that could happen as the satellites are coming by. It's a lot less frequent today. We used to see outages of 5 seconds, sometimes 10 seconds, and then 2 seconds, and then 10 seconds, this type of thing. Now the outages that we see are usually a second or less. That is a massive difference compared to the way it was. So today, you could probably do any type of online video conference calling without any problem. All right. I am actually doing my lives, the JC lives, solely with SpaceX Starlink right now. I haven't even been bonding the connection with T-Mobile or AT&T or anything else. I've been leaving it alone and just simply using SpaceX Starlink to test it out. And very rarely will I go down. When I say down, I mean become pixelated or there's a slight hiccup. It happens every once in a while. Remember, it is satellite. The other thing is if you're a gamer, it's probably not going to be for you because your latency isn't as consistent. Whereas the latency now has come down. Normally, it was between 40 to 60 milliseconds. It has come down now to 30s, maybe even 20s. I'm personally seeing in the teens for latency, which is literally the same speed as copper. Fiber is only like what, about 3 milliseconds to about 6, 7, 8. Some people that are on fiber are getting 10, 12 millisecond latency. So SpaceX Starlink is doing a great job at lowering that latency, and it's going to get even better once Starship is online and functional and can deliver the version 3 satellites into orbit. They are 10 times the capacity and 4 times the size, all right? They are going to really increase speeds and once again lower latency. They're also going to bring these satellites down just a little bit from 520 or 530 kilometers down into the 400s. That's also going to lower latency. So things are actually looking up for SpaceX Starlink. The other person that might not want SpaceX Starlink is someone that is living in an area that continuously has rain. You're in the middle of a rainforest someplace. Number one, the canopy of trees make it difficult to see the satellites, so you need to be in an open area, number one. Number two, rain fade is a thing, just like any satellite network. When it's raining really hard, all right, it has a hard time. I lose connection sometimes when there is some severe storms. If it's just a light rain, it works perfectly fine. It might slow down just slightly, but for the most part, you don't even notice. But if there's a massive Florida storm rolling in, like happens in the afternoons, well, the system is going to slow down or possibly cut out. That is just simply how it is. It is getting better. The version 1s were really good. Version 2s were not as good with rain fade. Now the version 3 dish, the little bit smaller, those dish for some reason cut through the rain a little bit better. So all in all, if you can get the latest and greatest, the version 3s, buy one of those instead of getting an older, like what I'm using, a version 2, generation 2. The ones that have the fully articulating top to them, that have a motorized, that actually point themselves, they're not as good in the rain. So I wouldn't pick one of those up. I would go with a newer model. So for the most part, if you are in a rural area, all right, SpaceX Starlink is an absolute no-brainer. The initial cost for me was $599, but as of today, that price has gone down a lot, by hundreds and hundreds of dollars. There's like deals that go on. Sometimes you can get it for $399 for the full kit, sometimes $299. I've actually seen people actually get a kit for $199. So watch for any type of deals that are going on. You'll be able to get the dish at a discount. All right, hang tight, watch for those deals. We got the holidays coming, Black Friday. I'm sure there will be deals that happen. Also, if you just purchase SpaceX Starlink and you use my link, they have this pretty cool referral program that if you use my link, you get a free month and I get a free month. So if you don't mind and you're getting SpaceX Starlink, use it. Once again, I will put the link down here. So in my personal opinion, all right, for $120 a month, for example, SpaceX Starlink is hands down the best broadband service currently available, non-terrestrially, from satellite. Absolutely. And I would say that as of today, it is on par with a lot of the cable companies out there. Is it on par with fiber? Not yet. But I've been hearing down the grapevine that Elon Musk is trying to get SpaceX Starlink to gigabit speeds. Now, that rolls into my current speeds. Currently, I'm getting over 900 megabits down and over 900 megabits up. Why is that? Because we have Fusion, Hotwire. They finally put in fiber at my location. After almost 30 years, guys, we finally have fiber. Okay? Now, the question is, Joe, are you going to stop making Starlink videos? Are you going to turn off your Starlink service? And the answer to that is absolutely not. I will not turn off my Starlink service. And people will be like, why would you want to pay an extra $120 a month? Why would you want to do that? You have faster speeds, lower latency. What would be the purpose? Well, when you live in a rural area, you know redundancy is number one. One is none and two is one. So for the most part, you want to have three of everything, right? That's how we look at things in a rural area. We do not have water, so we need to be able to pump our water out. That means that we need electric. We need to have multiple sources of electric. We need to have multiple ways of getting the water out of the ground. We don't have a sewer system. We have a septic. We need to make sure that that's running properly. We need to make sure that if electric goes down, we have backup. So we have generators, and not solar yet, but that's next. We have generators. So there's always a backup when you're in a rural area. It's not like city folk that they're like, yeah, whatever, the power goes out, 10 minutes or so, it'll be back on. No, when we lose power, it could be for 21 days. And that's happened before during hurricanes. So right now, we currently have AT&T absolute garbage service. We have SpaceX Starlink, and we have T-Mobile. So the SpaceX Starlink is the main connection. And then we have the backup connections, which are T-Mobile and that AT&T junk service. Okay, so we have 3. So that's how I'm going to set up. So hang in there for future videos, because some of these videos you might find really interesting, especially when it comes to bonding different services together. Because by doing so, you now have best of both worlds. You have terrestrial, non-terrestrial. Maybe you want to bond your T-Mobile with your local copper, whatever it is, maybe cable, and you want to bond the two together. I'm going to show you how to do it. So hang tight for that. So to put a bow on it, coming full circle, SpaceX Starlink is absolutely the best broadband service that I have ever had, next to now fiber. It is absolutely, undeniably the best non-terrestrial internet out there. And I think that it is on par with some of the cable companies out there also. AT&T, just forget it. Their U-verse, complete junk. AT&T is doing away with all copper. They're going to go fiber, and they're going to start using those 5G towers to do their AT&T Internet Air nonsense, because they don't want copper on the ground anymore. It's going to be either fiber or it's going to be 5G, and that's it. So what say you? What do you think about all this? Has this helped you at all? Are you currently a SpaceX Starlink user? If not, are you going to become a SpaceX Starlink user and use my promo code? My link? If not, that's okay too. If you enjoyed the video, throw it a thumbs up. That'll be very helpful. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not. And finally, head over to my website, JCristina.com, where you can find all the photography tools I've invented for you and me over the many years, and my merch and my tees and my books and my shirts and everything else. Go to JCristina.com. If there's something there that you like, please pick it up and support me and my family. Many blessings to you and your family. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay connected, and we'll see you in the next one. Love you all.